What do you make of the recent price activity in crypto?
So if you've been watching for years or the last few months, it's clear that there's so much more activity in the general blockchain ecosystem and especially the Ethereum ecosystem, and the prices have risen in concert. And so there was so much intensity that they essentially a few weeks ago hit a bit of a blow off top. But yeah, we're back to growing in price, and the activity hasn't stopped, and the cycles that we're seeing in our ecosystem, just because we're really crossing the chasm. This is really relevant to pop culture and the financial world right now, and so the cycles are really compressed, and so we'll see recoveries much faster.
The downturn cycles are compressed.
The up and down and up cycles, exactly.
So volatility, additional volatility is what you're expecting.
Yeah. So there will be volatility because this is a paradigm shift that is underway to new trust foundations, new decentralized financial infrastructure for the planet, and many things being built on top of that. What I was referring to is that we're not going to see long crypto winters. We're going to see crypto winters that are about 3 weeks, maybe 3 months, if things get extremely overly exuberant for a while. But things are going beautifully in the ecosystem.
Well, I want to ask you about regulation, because one of the big reasons why we did see a revaluation of crypto broadly in recent weeks has been due to some crackdowns, mainly in China and other places across the globe. How do you look at regulation? Is it something that concerns you? Do you feel like Ethereum and Ether are doing things differently in a way that they may not be subject to as much regulation as some of your peers?
So decentralized protocol technology is philosophically aligned with free market capitalism and liberal democracies. And so when more regulators and politicians and leaders of business understand that, I think it's going to go very well for this technology with respect to regulation. The SEC has developed a great understanding of the technology, and they're regulating improper issuances of securities, but they're not trying to stifle innovation. And many in the SEC are advocating for safe harbors or the idea of progressive decentralization, letting innovative projects go for a little while. And essentially, the innovation in decentralized finance is probably going to be able to thread the needle such that the regulations that have developed around protecting consumers from those who custody their assets are, if you design your protocol correctly, are not really going to be necessary. And so regulation is probably going to have to evolve as this new innovative technology really starts to take over.
Yeah, absolutely. Mel has a question back in studio for you.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, thanks for suffering through the rain for this interview. We appreciate it. We see you're getting wet there. But I got to ask you about Elon Musk. When Elon Musk announced that part of his balance sheet would be in Bitcoin, that was a good thing for Bitcoin. Then he highlighted the energy-hungry nature of proof of work versus proof of stake, and he was right. And that really hurt the Bitcoin trade, at least. And so I'm wondering what your overall take is on an influencer like Elon Musk sort of whipsawing the market like that.
So first, with respect to the energy issue, I think Bitcoin does have a bit of an energy issue, not as big as major financial institutions and the whole financial infrastructure. Ethereum has a little bit of an energy issue right now, but most of the transactions are moving to layer 2. They get the full trust guarantees from layer 1. And so our energy issue is diminishing right now and will go to zero pretty much in December when Ethereum 2, the proof of stake network, merges with Ethereum 1, the proof of work network, and proof of stake replaces proof of work. And so Ethereum's energy issue just goes away. As to Elon's various vocalizations or Twitterizations, he's talking his book in many cases. It's nice that he's interested in our ecosystem, and I invite him to look at the most dominant technology.
Ethereum allows for, the creation and monetization of NFTs, non-fungible tokens. There was a huge surge of these in the first quarter, and since then we've seen sales kind of dissipate. What has that meant for Ethereum? Do you see NFTs picking back up anytime soon?
Sure. So what's happening right now in our ecosystem is basically a paradigm shift to a new trust foundation and a new decentralized finance infrastructure. And we're seeing a few different aspects of the technology crossing the chasm. A guy named Jeff Moore, about 30 years ago, wrote a book called Crossing the Chasm, which outlines how innovative technologies achieve consumer adoption. And we're seeing cryptocurrencies, we're seeing decentralized assets, decentralized finance, and NFTs crossing the chasm together. So the whole ecosystem is growing enormously. It's going to grow in fits and starts. There's just so much exuberance, sometimes irrational, and we'll have some cooling periods around that. But the trend is up. We're going to see higher highs and higher lows, and the NFT boom is still very much intact. We at Consensus and a new network called Palm, NFT network, that we helped stand up, we're seeing enormous corporate interest in building NFT platforms and launching NFTs.
Huh. Well, it sounds like NFTs, crypto, about as volatile as the Aspen weather here today. So we appreciate you bearing with us, hanging out in the rain, and sharing your insights today. Joe Lubin, co-founder of Ethereum.